What's up, Brar Hive? It's your boy, Mata Brar, the guy who got kicked out of a basketball game in 30 seconds because I threw a guy into the scorer's table. Well, today we have another brown guy who's actually good at basketball. I know it's a big difference from who I am. Today we have a player who plays for Xavier University, Mr. Ramon Singh. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always good to have just have someone like from the Punjabi culture, just doing something
Yeah,
sick.
yeah,
So
definitely.
first, tell us about yourself. Like who you are, where you're from, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm originally from Australia. So born and raised there until the age of 16, and then I came over to the US and played high school basketball. And then went to college, and now I'm just playing college basketball. Yeah, and I'm a marketing major as well, so I'm trying to do that on the side. And yeah,
That's that's
super
awesome,
cool.
man. So first of all, obviously, I'm gonna ask you first the most basic bitch question: what got you into basketball?
Um, to be honest, I came to the US. I visited a couple times just like as a tourist, like with my family and stuff, and I was just so amazed by how big the culture was over there for basketball. And I went to New York, and I remember like just being around like a lot of like the Knicks kind of games and all that, and just watching the Knicks play and stuff. And I was like, seems like something I really wanted to get into. And I started late. I started at the age of like 11, so like
Yeah.
that's pretty late for a basketball player, but yeah, I just one thing led to another, and I fell in love with the game, and next thing you know, I'm here. So
So you started playing in Australia, and then came here, you came to the
yeah,
states, and you played for some high school in the states, and then went to Xavier.
yeah. So what happened was, I just kind of was playing basketball locally in Australia and playing for like a couple of like state teams and all that, and it was like an AAU team that travels and plays over in the US. So like gives a chance of Australian people to have like a bit of exposure and stuff. And from that, there was a couple of like high school coaches actually at my games, from the school called La Lamere. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Small school in Indiana. Yeah, big basketball school though. It's like kind of like one of those like prep house plays against like Oak Hill and like Montverde and all those big schools.
All
And
right.
yeah, those coaches took a liking to me, and I ended up playing 2 years, so my junior and senior year, for Lalamere, and then one thing led to another, and decided to go to Xavier and play basketball. So that was nice.
What position do you play?
I'm a shooting guard primarily, but personally, I prefer to run more of like a three, just because I would prefer to run more of a bigger position, try and get in the post a little bit. I prefer bigger defenders, so um, yeah, 2-3 really.
How
I'm
tall
six
are you?
four, so it's kind of
Oh,
6'4", so how to be a big man in like not a big man, but like a small forward in like a college game, playing
see,
against like big guys.
I'm 5'11", so for me, anyone's big. Okay, okay, I'm lying. I'm like 5'9".
Five nine
I'm
and a
like,
half, but you stretch it to 5'11".
all right, I'm 5'9", but whenever I'm talking to a girl like on Snapchat or something, I'm like, yo, I'm 6 foot tall.
You might as well say 6 foot at that point, honestly.
It depends how tall the
There's
girl
no
is.
relation exist anymore.
For me, it depends how tall the girl is. So if she's short,
Oh,
if she's like up to here, I could say I'm 6 foot and it'll work maybe.
yeah.
But if she's my height, I'm like, ah, shit, I lied.
You might as well say you're 6'1" and shoes. Sometimes that
Oh,
works.
oh
Leave them
yeah.
guessing.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the Jordans up there have like a pretty high base, so I could be good there. I
Especially
could
if
be
you
okay.
stand on the box too while you walk. You could get away with 6'3".
All right, cool. I'm going with that now. Thank you for.
Right? 6'3",
All right,
stretch you out.
you just give me my new move with the ladies. Yo, I'm six
Yeah,
three
right.
with shoes on.
And the box. Yeah.
All right. So you went to Xavier, and
Yeah.
so how's that experience like? How's the life of a D1 athlete? Because I know that's a
Um,
massive flex. That's a big flex.
Honestly, it's everything kind of what I expected. It's really busy though. That's kind of the main thing you need to kind of address. I mean, it's fun all the time, but constantly it's just tiring, super tiring, from practices to workouts to lifts to just traveling all the time and missing school and then having to catch up. Like that's huge pain, and that's like that happens a ton. So I mean, it's not all, fun and games and just relaxing and just, going to parties and all that and enjoying yourself. But, there's definitely time for that. But a lot of it is like, a grind, and it's like a job.
Yeah. So wait, so I was wondering that. So like because you miss school, I feel like now, like because like a lot of universities have just implemented like an online school portion now because of this. I feel like now it
Yeah.
could be much easier for like D1 athletes who miss school because like everything you might just have all the resources online, you know? That
Yeah.
could possibly
I
like
mean, our
granted.
school's small enough to do like, personable classes and stuff. So we only have about 5,000 students at our school. So we're
Yeah.
actually going to be going back in the fall. So it's all going to be back to normal, really,
Oh,
which is
you're
really good.
lucky.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
lucky.
I'm so happy to just be back at school, honestly, after all this kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, my university is just like, you know what, screw you guys. It's all fall. Fall is all
Oh,
online. Yeah.
really?
I'm
How
gonna be
many people are you
silver.
in school?
It's a pretty big school actually. I don't know exactly how much, but okay, Google, how many people attend University of Calgary?
In 2014, there were 30,201 students enrolled in the University of Calgary.
30,000.
That's a bunch. Yeah, that's a fair amount.
That's more than I expected like same thing like 5,000. No, that's a lot.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
are you excited? So obviously, how's COVID been for like getting you like because your season just ended, right?
Yeah, it just got cut off, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So what was that like? Like, so is your season probably gonna restart or just start anew?
Probably just gonna start anew. Well, that's what it seems like right now. It wouldn't make sense to do March Madness. That's kind of where it stopped right before that. So, I mean, considering all these big players and stuff are going to the NBA, like they're not going to come back and play college, to try and get, their March Madness opportunity.
How does it feel
But
knowing that have you played with any like future NBA players yet? Like
yeah,
in your career?
in high school, I played with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jordan Poole. They were on my team, and
Jaren
yeah, I
Jackson was my 2K god.
really,
On 2K, I just ran with him. He was fast. I'm like, let's go.
yeah. And then Isaiah Stewart as well. He'll be in the league next year.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's awesome. How do you feel that you're just buddies with some of these guys?
Um, Honestly, I don't really. It doesn't really feel the same. I mean, obviously, when I grew up in Australia, I was all like obsessed with the NBA and all that, and now it's just kind of like I don't know. Just see them as friends, instead of like as all these
So
NBA players. It's weird
yeah,
on 2K though. That it gets it's kind of like gets kind of awkward. Like, you know,
you're playing them
when
in
you're
2K
guarding
like
someone, they don't have that move. It's like what? Like Ronnie 2K kind of screwed up the system a little bit. You know.
it's like when you shoot a three or Shaq in 2K, you're like, he can't do that, but whatever, sure, let it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so so the way have you played March Madness yet? Have you played any? Did you play last
No,
year?
I'm a sophomore. Yeah, so no, I haven't. Because
Oh,
of the cutoff. Yeah, but we were
okay, okay.
expected to be a March Madness team, which would have been nice. But just got to take it next year and just do much, do what we can, and take what we can. So next season will
Xavier's
be fun.
usually Xavier's usually in like top two schools for March Madness every time. I always make two brackets. I'm like, all right, it's either Duke or it's Xavier. I always have one of those two.
I appreciate that. It's nice having supporters like that. But
And now
yeah,
that I
no,
actually know a player,
yeah,
now I have to. I'm like, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, we've had some good success in the tournament and typically make the tournament. So
yeah.
yeah,
All right. So now, okay. So we've gone that. Okay. So I've seen a couple of your TikToks online. Like that.
yeah,
Like that's how I first heard of you. Like to be fully
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
And I'm like, yo, Singh. That's a brown guy. That's sick. And so, yeah, I was like, wow, this is actually dope. we have like, so, oh yeah, what did your Australian friends say? What did they say when you told them, yo, I'm playing for like a top 20 school in the U.S.?
Well, they've always really still stayed around me and followed me and all that, so it's been really nice. We've always stayed in touch. But as soon as I kind of left for high school, they were kind of like, okay, like he's gonna be on the next level. Like it's gonna be like, especially at the school I was at, like they were like, okay, like it's gonna probably happen. But it was kind of a matter of they stay supporting me and stuff, and I mean they place a couple bets, on like Xavier games and stuff like that. So that's fun, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
I mean,
seen you. I've seen your high school highlights, dude. You're raw. You got it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yo, come through Canada. We'll ball. Good ass time.
Yeah, I haven't been to Canada yet. I definitely want to go see a couple of spots. I definitely want to go to Toronto. I'm a huge Drake fan. Huge Drake fan.
Is Drake your favorite rapper?
Yeah,
All right,
has to be.
I'll respect that. I'll respect that. Drake's
You
like,
not a Drake fan?
oh wait, I went to his concert, but he's my third favorite rapper.
Oh, who's your favorite rapper then?
Okay, do you promise not to judge me here?
I probably will. It's trash rapper, to be honest.
Lil Dicky. Lil Dicky's my favorite rapper of all
Lil
time.
Dicky's your favorite rapper?
He's my favorite rapper.
Why?
Because wait, he's funny. He has such a nice flow, and his TV show just dropped like a few months ago, and it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
He's funny. I'll give him that. But I don't know if I can bump Lil Dicky, in the
Oh,
car. If everyone gives me the aux, Lil Dicky's not gonna be played.
nah, trust me. Like, play like "How Can You Sleep?" Because like that's like I think the game is featured in that.
Yeah.
They go hard. His music videos are the main thing though. Like you got any Lil Dicky video, any Lil Dicky thing, you gotta watch the music video with it to get the full like
Fair enough.
experience.
Who's your second favorite artist?
The second favorite artist, Eminem. Eminem's the one that
Really?
got me like into rap,
Into rap? Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Drake.
Pop Smoke's new album coming out in July. He's actually got a
Is it
feature in that.
really? Oh, sick.
Yeah. I know. It'll be weird on him on a drill beat, but we'll see how it turns out.
I don't know. Drake he can adjust to like any kind of flow, so I think he can get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that. Now, who? So who's your all-time favorite NBA player? Like, who's like the guy that you look at when you play, and who plays? You're like, that's like my favorite.
So without Kobe, obviously there wouldn't be a me existing. Obviously his impact has been, amazing, especially growing up in kind of that
Yeah, and
2000s era.
I got a giant Kobe poster right here.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, so Kobe, yeah, he wrote us a really cool letter in high school, before our like national championship kind of run that we had.
Yeah,
Just talking about motivation and like, using our past as motivation because we won a team that had won a national championship before. So it was, yeah, he really just has motivated all of us, and it's typically what he does, right? Like,
yeah.
um, so yeah, he's been a huge influence on my whole life, and him as well as Carmelo Anthony, because that's who I kind of got involved with when I first started playing basketball, and just motivated me and picked up little pieces of his game and try to emulate his whole, I guess, kind of post game from the elbow and his jab steps and the way he kind of uses his body in the post and all that. It was kind of what I grew up watching. Yeah.
So were you a Knicks fan growing up?
I was, yeah, but
I'm so
now
sorry.
it's kind
I'm so sorry for you.
of, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I've been through a lot of missing out on the playoffs and
How did you
awkward
feel about the
12
whole
seasons.
Zion thing last year? They're like, oh, we're gonna get Zion. We're gonna get Zion. We're not getting Zion, guys. I'm sorry.
I mean, like recently, I haven't really been an NBA fan as much of like a team. I'm kind of just like more into players now.
Yeah.
Now that I like know a couple people, and then it's also like you play against players in high school and college, and then they go into the NBA, and then it's like I'm not really I guess I wouldn't really support the Knicks. Like I'm not like a fan like how I kind of grew up. But no, I still loved watching the game, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Basketball is just like like I feel like that's a sport that basically anyone can get into. I feel like because like
Yeah.
all you really need is just have some sort of hoop. You can like even make a hoop and just have something to
Yeah.
throw it and just have something to throw into it. Like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like yeah, that like because like basketball is slowly and slowly becoming like one of the biggest sports in the whole world. It's like overtaking soccer at this point. You say soccer or
Yeah.
football?
I say soccer. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because
So
we
I can
have
say
our
soccer.
own football. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, cool. We got that. Oh yeah. So have you gotten any word about like if you guys are heading back, like when you guys head back of the season be starting or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've scheduled our games for next season, not our whole schedule, but
Yeah.
a couple preseason games and stuff like that, pre-conference games. And yeah, we're in Cincinnati, Ohio, so it's like in a kind of area that's not doing too bad with the whole,
Yeah.
pandemic kind of stuff. So we're in a good position to pick back up, with practices and all that. There's a lot of like regulations and different kind of things that we're all, figuring out and getting through as a team.
Yeah.
We still have to, get through all that, but I mean, I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and from there we'll adjust, I guess, and just kind of keep everyone safe and go along with the season.
Yeah, because now it's sports, lots of sports coming back, lots of like even my sport, martial arts, our school just opened up like last week,
Yeah,
and still regulations are crazy. It's like I unless you're like you've been training together the whole time, you can't have a different partner. You gotta keep a mask on most times if you're teaching.
yeah. hmm
Yeah. What was like the reaction when when they told you season's over, go home? Like what was that like? Did your coach like tell you guys anything?
Yeah, so we were actually in the Big East tournament at the time. So we were in New York, and before we even left for the Big East tournament, we were all talking about how this thing's becoming a big, it's just growing, and this disease is actually taking over, and it might impact our school, and we might have school canceled and classes moved online. Right before we left, Ohio State moved online, and that was the biggest news because everyone was like, "Oh, like, will we move online? Like, what's gonna happen?" And then so we left for that trip. Um, and the first game we played was against DePaul, and that was the last college basketball game of the season. Really, we were the last one to play, and to complete our game. And then the Big East was the last tournament that was on, and then they kind of canceled the whole tournament. They were thinking about doing it without fans, and then there was too much of a worry about like if one player has it, and then it just spreading because it could spread so easily through basketball. So it's like
Yeah.
there was a lot of worries about that, and then our tournament just came to an end, and then yeah, that was it. It was sad for the seniors, mostly
Yeah.
because that's such an abrupt kind of ending to your whole college career. But yeah, you know,
That's
we just
like
kind of go back, and March Madness was then canceled, and then we were all like, okay, like just go home really and be with your families. So yeah,
actually I never thought about the seniors. Yeah, that must I actually feel really bad for them because like that was like their last time.
yeah,
A
exactly.
lot of their last time playing basketball too.
Yeah, for a lot of them, yeah. So it was a very kind of sudden experience, but I mean, it happened. So there's really nothing you can do about it. You just got to move on.
Have you been staying fit, training hard, while
Yeah,
like what's the
yeah. I mean,
regimen been?
for me, I really focus on getting bigger and stronger and stuff. That's always been a huge kind of area of my, I guess, basketball game that I've never really had much like strength and just being like a skinny little like kind of guy who's been like lanky and used his length and all that to really just play. Like I've never really had much size, so for me, always coming back for the summers and stuff has been big for me to put on size and do it in a smart way. So I'm not just gonna come back to the U.S. like fat. Um, And so it's been important for me to, eat in a small surplus and then lean bulk and then eventually like a lean cut. And I've talked to all my strength coaches about that, and we've been working together with all that. And that's been pretty easy to maintain throughout the whole pandemic because all you need is resistance training, and weights and stuff. And
Yeah.
the gyms are now open in Australia and all that, so it's easy to kind of get around that. But the basketball aspect of things, I mean, working out as much as I can, working out with my friends, just having like small runs with, a couple of my friends just to keep the game with me and stuff. I don't think I've really lost too much of a touch from not playing in like indoor courts all the time and stuff like that. But there's plenty of like small runs that a lot of the Australian kind of basketball players who play in college have been doing. So there's a couple of guys at like USD and stuff, like San Diego, and like a couple guys who play like small D1 schools and stuff at UC Riverside and all that, and they all just came back and we all just played, whether it's 3-on-3s or whatever we can do just to get up and down. And yeah, so it's all really up in the air. There's no real structure to it all, but you do what you can to improve, right?
Yeah. What's the main aspect of your game? Like, are you a shooter? You drive in?
I'm a shooter. Yeah, shooter, catch and shoot. That's always been my bread and butter, really. When I first started playing basketball, that's literally all I did. And yeah, 3-point line is like my best friend.
You throw down?
Yeah. I mean, I can, but I'm not like an athletic around the rim. I'm not going to catch people, in the air and stuff.
Nothing like that. Yeah. So you're saying that like next season I'm not going to see any Ramon Singh posters coming around of you just like dunking off?
Probably not, to be honest. Like when I take off, I kind of draw contact and try and get an and one, whereas I'd rather not miss a dunk. So it's like, it's just kind of how I play. Yeah.
All right, that's good. All right, so we got your favorite player. Two favorite players would be Kobe or Melo. Who's your favorite current player? Like, Melo's. Oh, he's still in the league, yeah.
He's still kind of, yeah.
He plays for Portland, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't even know what's happening with this season. If he's still on Portland, I think he is. I think they're still one of those 8 teams that are going to Orlando. I haven't really followed too much with that, but
I don't know, because I am a Rockets diehard. As you can probably tell by my Hardens right here. I'm a Rockets diehard, and like after the Rocks got rid of him, I was like, oh, that's kind of a mistake, but okay, sure. Who right now, like who do you see in the league as like this is the best? Are you LeBron like diehard?
I'm not a diehard for LeBron. I respect him, but I'm not a diehard. I think Jordan's better, to be honest.
All right. That's
debate. If we're gonna open that case, I'm a Jordan guy, and that was before Last Dance as well. Last Dance has reinforced that really to me. But
what's your GOAT list? What's your top 5 GOATs?
I'm gonna say I've always said Kobe 1, but I have to say Jordan's 1, and then Kobe, and then probably LeBron. And then it gets really muddy because like it could be literally anyone from that point. So it could be. I have to give a shout out to like Magic and Bird because that era was just crazy.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan is terrific as well. He was really good. And then there's just so many good players that it's like, it's all neck and neck.
Like, I was talking this with my friends a couple weeks ago. And now I actually have someone who played like with some talent that's in the NBA. Do you like with the NBA today? Like, because like obviously shooting is a much bigger thing today than it was like in Jordan's era, like Magic's era, and like Kareem and Wilt's era. Do you believe that defending is harder nowadays?
Yes and no. I think it's harder to score. I think it's easier to score nowadays because the lack of help side defense due to the fact that everyone's a one-on-one player. So you have to kind of guard them one-on-one.
Yeah.
And if you help, it's so easy to just kick out in the NBA and hit a three. Like everyone can shoot, everyone can space the floor really well. So the game's really different in that sense. But no, I feel like in Jordan's era, in that like kind of 90s, 80s bad boys kind of era, you drive the ball, you got, like everyone sucking in and like helping you, and like, it's like clogged in the paint, and it's
The
so like, I
Jordan
mean, I
rules.
feel like, yeah, like Jordan rules, exactly. Like it's harder to score around the rim back then, and there wasn't many shooters and space, kind of floor spacing back then. So I guess it's different in that whole aspect. But the defenders are better nowadays. Like, you got guys like Kawhi, who's like impossible to score on. You get guys like even LeBron's a terrific defense. Like you could just get a lot of guys who can really just guard with their length and their ability to, quick hands, and then the bounce and all that. Like they have that all complete, and their lateral quickness is like crazy as well in the modern day NBA.
Yeah, like
So yeah,
one like perfect example is like LeBron's like chase down dunk on like Iguodala in like
yeah,
2016,
exactly.
was
Yeah.
it?
I
Was
think
it
so. Yeah,
2016?
he ran like the whole court and just kind of caught him. Yeah.
I remember watching that game live with my friends. Like we were in the basement watching that. Like the second we saw LeBron in the corner of the TV, we're like, he's getting blocked. It's happening. It's happening. It's beautiful. All right, so your top five would be Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and then like all the other guys like Kareem, Magic, Bird,
Yeah.
all of those. All right, I
Yeah.
can respect that.
Yeah.
I will respect that. And now get ready. Now I get mad with mine.
What's your top five?
All right, so number one I have LeBron.
Yeah.
Number two I actually have Wilt.
Okay.
Uh,
Wilt over Jordan.
which what?
Wilt over Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Jordan's actually number four on my list. Because number three I have Kareem, then Jordan,
Okay.
then Magic.
Okay. It's an interesting list, but
I don't know, because like
I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Exactly. So like,
I don't know. Wilt
you can
was
argue that
Wilt was an animal. He was a monster of an athlete though. So because like
he
I was gonna
was.
look at
Yeah.
that. Because like Arnold Schwarzenegger was like set on record. Oh yeah, Wilt was much stronger than I was at my prime.
Yeah. Which is crazy. But I mean, Arnold was huge. Like that guy was, and he was on like he was using stuff too. Like he wasn't
Oh,
like a completely
100%.
natural bodybuilder. So it's like to be using something and then to have Wilt stronger than you. I mean, it's one thing because Wilt's taller, and a lot of taller guys like just naturally are heavier and they have more strength. But like that's still a huge achievement to be stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that's crazy.
Like I randomly watch Wilt highlights. I'm like, yo, this dude, like I feel like he could even like just kill people today as well.
Yeah, who knows? Honestly, this is something that no one will ever know and understand the way the game's changed.
Yeah. And that's it for our interview with Mr. Ramon Singh. Thank you so much for doing this, and like, you know, I hopefully you kill everyone next season and just go crazy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So Hive, as always, remember, quarantine, stay inside, but also have some fun. And as always, stay hydrated and
Wear a condom.
damn right. See ya, Hive.
Really.